Hello and welcome to a time special presentation for Thirukkural with the Times, where we explore real-world lessons from the classic Tamil text Thirukkural with motivational speaker, author and diversity champion Bharathi Baskar as she explores the masterpiece. From time immemorial, there have been stories of women struggling against societal stigma. Takes us to the story of Mani Mekala as she protests communal bondage. Then to the story of Ai, the wronged Devadasi, delving into stories of resilience of women across centuries. And finally, to Thiruvalluvar's take on the false embrace of wealth-loving women.
I was watching Thillana Mohanambal, my favorite movie. And I watch it every time I feel low. Performances of Nadigar Tilagam Shivaji Ganesan, Padmini, Balaya, Nagesh and C.K. Saraswati take me to a different era and indulge me in the musical float across the memory river. This time I noticed something else. Throughout the movie, Mohana, the protagonist dancer, has to plead, cry, scream, wail and weep to her lover, Shanmuga Sundaram, to prove that she is innocent and her love is true. The suspicion about her fidelity was because she belonged to the Devadasi clan and was trying to establish an honorable life for herself. It's also interesting to note that the story of Thillana Mohanambal was written in the year 1957 by Kottamangalam Subbu. Much before that, in 1947, a bill to abolish the Devadasi system was passed in the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly, thanks to the stupendous efforts of Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy. Out of curiosity, I went through the contemporary writers' portrayals of women of this community. Unlike Kottamangalam Subbu, most other writers portrayed these women in a demeaning manner. They were depicted as women who stooped down to lure men and money. Nothing new, I thought. The Sangam literature registers deep contempt for temptress women. Valluvar was no exception. Thiruvalluvar was a firm believer in monogamous marriages. He considered the tie between man and woman as permanent and irrevocable. Hence, he denounced multiple affairs a man could indulge in. The first voice raised for monogamy was from Valluvar. However, he uses intense language while condemning women who lure men for money. Porutpendir, Poimai, Muyakkam, IruttarayilEedil, Pinam, thazheeyatru. The false embrace of wealth-loving women is akin to embracing a strange corpse in a dark room. Manimekalai, the epic that came after the era of Valluvar, portrays Manimekala, the daughter of Kovalan and Madhavi, a young girl. Manimekalai, the epic that came after the era of Valluvar, portrays Manimekala, the daughter of Kovalan and Madhavi, young girl who protested the communal bondage. Madhavi stood by her daughter in this fight. Despite pressures from high command, she firmly declared that her daughter would not use her beauty and art to lure wealthy men. In a society that prided itself on male immorality, Madhavi and Manimekalai fought for their liberation and emancipation. In the centuries that followed, nothing much changed. But all through this path, women who were labelled immoral have tried to fight it out. King Krishnadevaraya was travelling from his capital Hampi to Pondicherry. He passed by a beautiful mansion. Mistaking it for a temple, he prostrated. The people of the town started giggling. And an old man asked him, "O king, why are you prostrating before a brothel?" The stunned king was furious and found that the house belonged to a Devadasi named Ai. The king was so embarrassed that he ordered the house to be demolished. Ai's tears and appeals did not heal the king's bruised ego. Ai's tears and appeals did not heal the king's bruised ego. Ai herself demolished the house and dug a huge tank for public use. The place was called Ai Kulam. Later, when French ruled Pondicherry, the governor realized that the tank was the city's most important water source and erected a monument to thank Ai. Dasi Kunjarammal of Madurai sold her gold jewellery and 2 mansions to create a porridge reserve, that's a kanji totti, to save the starved people of Madurai during the Great Famine of 1868-1876. Bangalore Nagaratnammal was instrumental in raising a temple for Saint Tyagaya at his tomb in Thiruvalluvar. Interestingly, Thiruvalluvar has not reflected upon why women were forced into that profession or upon the misogynistic social hierarchy that did not give them any opportunity to come out of that livelihood. Equally interesting is that the associated men were never subjected to any disgrace. From the era of Thiruvalluvar till Kottamangalam Subbu, it has been a long, painful journey for women to eliminate the disgrace stamped on them by the society. The footprints are still seen in the long, arduous path they took. The endless void of crippling apathy chased them, and their blood is still frozen on the sands of time.